Good to see you, and thank you so much for your patience. Bama, of course, got off to a rough start against Florida State, and then Louisiana Monroe had to take the the beating because they took their frustrations out 73-0. So we'll start with Ty Simpson and his development and what you've seen out of him through 2 games.
Well, right now, Mark, I mean, young man who waited his time for this moment, for this opportunity to be the Alabama starting quarterback. I thought the first game against Florida State did about what I thought he would do. Your first game starting, you're in a hostile environment, Doak Campbell Stadium, which is tough for many people to play at. Of course, you would have liked to have seen him trust his feet more on a few of the plays where he took off and ran with it. But also, you want to see the mental clock a bit sharper on some of the passes. But all in all, about how I felt like he would play against Lyle Monroe, though, much more confident, 17 of 17 passing, did account for 4 touchdowns, including 1 on the ground. So I felt like week 2, a lot more confident. Week 2, a lot more cut it loose. Week 2, a better game plan from Ryan Grubb to kind of put that confidence more so in the court of Ty Simpson. If you don't last but not least, Ty growing more of, okay, this is my team, right? I waited behind Bryce Young, learned from him. I waited behind Jalen Milroe, learned from him. Now I get a chance to kind of put my spin here on this offense, make it my football team here. So I felt like week 2, Ty more confidently taking the field through against Lyle Monroe. But this week against Wisconsin, you're back with another big test. We're going to see how he performs at Bryant-Denny this week.
So you're not going to be surprised, Stephen, that I'm letting you know I did not see one play of that curb stomping of Louisiana Monroe. I'm checking out the big games, obviously, but I did watch Florida State.
I mean, Mark, so the only thing to know about the Lyle Monroe game is the quarterback's a bit more confident, and we got to see some young guns on defense. We got to see the Red Morgans, the Dre Kirkpatrick Jr.'s, the London Simmons. We got to see more young players defensively build their confidence as well. Bama has talked about throughout the offseason prior to now that we've got depth. We got a chance to see that depth perform. Now, yes, of course, people will say it's Lyle Monroe. Wait till Georgia gets in. Wait till these bigger teams get in. And then we'll see what this depth truly is. But we got a taste of some of these young players. That was a good thing.
So my next question in talking about not what really transpired against Louisiana Monroe, but just looking at a stat sheet and then trying to put that together with Florida State is, what can we make of this running back rotation?
Well, right now, I look at this. I'm impressed with Kevin Riley. I saw him out of high school, Mark. Came from Tuscaloosa County High School, just north of Tuscaloosa. And he was committed to the Miami Hurricanes for a long time. He flipped late in that 2024 cycle to Alabama. And so he came in, he had a lot of speed, not a whole lot of power. But you can see he's been in that weight room. David Ballou has been working with this young man. I have seen him get small, get skinny, and plow through holes. And I'm like, okay, this was power I didn't see from that young man in high school. So he's already starting to show some things. I think right now, he's your second best back behind Jam Miller once Jam comes back, which that could be the Wisconsin game this week. He's looking very good right now. It could be the Georgia game after the bye week, but it's starting to look more so like Wisconsin, Bama can have Jam back. So Kevin Riley's looking like number 2, but A.K. Deer showed you some things against UL Monroe that made you go, we see why he's a 4-star guy coming out of high school. You saw some good runs there from Richard Young. Dre Washington could do some things. But I think right now, number 2 behind Jam Miller is the surprise of Kevin Riley. He needs more reps. With the reps he's gotten, that young man's produced not just between the tackles, but in open space and catching the ball out the backfield.
Folks, the Amazon link's in the description section of this video and all the videos. When you shop Amazon, please use the link that we provide. Again, you can get it in the description section down below. Stephen M. Smith joining us from the Bama Standard. Stephen, what's the best way to find the Bama Standard?
You can find that. That's on YouTube right now. Just go to the Bama Standard on YouTube right there. Tremendous guys. Got a lot of content being pumped out when it comes to Alabama football. And Marcus, always enjoy joining you here, man, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, nighttime. It's always fun being a part of the voice of college football here with you.
Going late night now, Stephen, on through the season.
Uh,
What's going on with Ryan Williams? What's the situation with him?
Okay, so the game against Florida State, which was not his best performance, he can tell you that himself, only had 5 catches for 30 yards. He dropped some balls there. But if you remember on the play where he got hurt, it was a head-on collision. He was on the field for a moment there, but he did get up off the field. He had concussion there. So the coaching staff decided we're not going to put him out there against UL Monroe. Let him get healthy, heal up, which is the reason why you saw more of Latsier Brooks. You saw more of Rico Scott against UL Monroe, but Ryan has cleared the concussion protocol. He is expected to go against Wisconsin. So looking forward to seeing a better performance from the former 5-star nicknamed Hollywood this week, as opposed to week 1 where he did not have his finest showing.
How much is Bama Nation grumbling about the Florida State performance?
There's still concern there, and the concern is how good is this team really? Because all offseason the conversation was, Bama's bringing the fear factor back, and we got the physicality, we got the big playmakers. There was so much positivity being pumped throughout the offseason, and when you go on the road and you face a Florida State team that just gave it to you, Gus Malzahn called everything in the kitchen sink. We all knew what was going to happen, and it worked. Tommy Castellanos ran his mouth, but he backed it up. And seeing that happen and seeing how teams look at Alabama not out of dread, but out of opportunity. You can beat Alabama. Why? That man by the name of Nick Saban, no longer the head coach there. And so after seeing that happen, you have some fans go, Kalen DeBoer, this is year 2. Where can we see, some upward trajectory here? But I also think this was a lot of Mark. People took Florida State lightly. This is a much improved Florida State team to where Mike Norvell said, hey, we're desperate. We want to get back to being great. That word desperate was used a lot during the Alabama-Florida State matchup. You have Gus Malzahn, who still wants to prove he's one of the best in the game calling offenses. You have a Tommy Castellanos who was benched last year at Boston College. He's coming in, giving his new team confidence. Hey, we can run with anybody. And then you have a newly improved defense. And once again, Doak Campbell Stadium, that's an electric atmosphere. And that's going to be one of many that Alabama will have to play in on the road. So the biggest thing for the Crimson Tide moving forward, Mark, is they've been great at Bryant-Denny under the board. They've been great. Can you go on the road and win? You lost to Vandy on the road last year. You lost to Tennessee, Oklahoma, of course, Michigan, that was a bowl game, and now Florida State. Can you take a performance on the road and win on the road?
The great Stephen M. Smith joining us. Of course, it's the Bama Standard, and it's at Coaching M. Smith if you follow him on X/Twitter. I know this isn't necessarily the time of year, Stephen, but just in case, any recruiting nuggets, any leans, any kind of news or scuttlebutt out there concerning the Tide?
Well, not right now at this point, Mark. I know Alabama, that 2026 class is still holding strong at the moment for the Crimson Tide. They're getting more guys on campus there in terms of visitors. But right now, nothing big has come out as of late. I know Alabama, the coaching staff still pursuing the likes of young men that committed to Oregon from Mobile. Alabama, they're still trying to recruit him at that linebacker position there. I had the name in my mind and it just left. I hate that right there. But the young man from Mobile, highly talented, gifted linebacker. He committed to Oregon. Dan Landon and that staff up there. Bama is still trying to get him flipped back on board to the Crimson Tide. But aside from him, there's nothing big that has come out now as of late. The main thing here is being able to take care of Wisconsin and then prepare for Georgia on the 27th, because that's the game where you're going to really see where is Alabama. if there was ever a moment where Kirby Smart could break the mental block when it comes to Alabama, this would be his moment to kind of do that. So we're going to see on the 27th, is this the moment where Kirby gets that big win, to have his second big win over Alabama to put with the championship win that he got over Coach Saban? Or does Kagan DeBoer go between the hedges and get a win in Athens on September 27th?
And would that be one Anthony Tank Jones that you're thinking
That
about?
is him. Tank Jones is the one. Right now, Sedarian Morgan and Xavier Crowell, both of those two in-state kids, they're trying to get Tank back on board right now. Oregon's got the edge with, of course, the Nike money, Phil Knight. You've got Dan Lanning. You've got Tosh Lapoy over there. But Alabama's still in pursuit of trying to get Tank Jones back here in terms of getting that guy back in state to turn back home here.
Stephen, you've been joining us for 10 plus years, and I don't know that I can recall you ever forgetting a name. You keep a list of Rolodex that's about as long as anybody's.
I'm just saying. So, but they're trying to get Tank back on board here. The main thing is taking care of Wisconsin this week, getting the bye, get guys rested up, healed up, and then prepare for Georgia on the 27th. Because at that point, you're in the meat of your schedule. You got games on the road that you're going to have to take care of.
It's Stephen M. Smith, the Bama Standard. It's right here on YouTube. Stephen, we always appreciate you stopping by. Good to see you, sir.
Absolutely, Bart. You take care over there.
All right. Stephen M. Smith, we appreciate all you callers and your patience.